There we go. Got it. Um, all right. So I guess I'll start. My name is Mike. Um, I guess probably one of my biggest conflicts right now in my life is has to do with work. I mean, I guess really everybody could say that, but um, I love my job, but I hate going to work, which is kind of a weird thing to say. Not because of the people I work with, people I work for. I've got chiefs and city, my supervisors and city council and city manager that I don't trust. They find they treat us like the hired help, which I guess we kind of are, but at the same time, I've had my assistant chief say, if you don't like it, you can quit, you're replaceable. Which no, I'm really not. And we haven't been fully staffed in 3 years. So, it's caused a lot of angst between the operations side and the administration side of the fire department. Morale is terrible. Uh, People are angry, lots of arguments, lots of uh, keeping secrets from people. Not a good place to work when you're having to work with these people for. We joke sometimes we spend more time with our coworkers than we do our own family. So it's causing a lot of stress, a lot of people leaving, lots of turnover. It's hard to find people now. I remember when 500 people showed up for 20 spots for a fire department. Now we get two. Um, it's and that means more overtime, getting mandatory, not being able to schedule my life out because hey, I just got a phone call. I got to go back to work like the other night for the storm. So yeah, that's pretty rough. That's not a fun way to live.
Well, it sounds like you must be feeling, a bit conflicted about the situation as a whole in the way that you both love your job and what you do, but there's lots of other pieces of it that you don't enjoy as much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it must feel, very difficult to be told you're replaceable. Nobody really wants to hear that ever, especially,
No,
no. Especially in a place that you enjoy, kind of being. So that must be a little rough.
yeah, I remember I took HR management last semester. We're talking about leadership styles, and the same person that said that has also said, I lead by fear, and it works. And I remember the professor looking at me like I had two heads. He's like, somebody actually said that to you. So yeah, it can be rough sometimes,
I'm sure.
but we always make the joke. It's us against the world. So I mean, we come in, we do our thing, we make it work. But the stress is once COVID started, they really clamped down on stuff to the point where we had to ask permission if we wanted to drive more than 50 miles from our house, and if we didn't, we could be fired. Once they realized they could do that, it's become a very micromanaged, busy work kind of place.
Oh, yeah, I've had my experience with places like that as well, and it's not as much fun, but I guess it's important in a emergency services to really remember why you chose that path and the good you can do and why you like it so much in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, and I enjoy my work. Like I said, I don't hate my job. I hate my workplace sometimes, but not my job. And I mean, I've had people that I've run calls on that come back, a month later, send me a note, say, thank you for helping me out. They found out this was wrong and it saved my life. And, or, I've, that's kind of a good feeling. So it definitely helps make up for the bad times.
Well, I guess we'll switch roles now. I think that should suffice there. Thank you for speaking.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I guess I'll just take it away then. Um, so I
Yeah.
work full time for a nonprofit that operates group homes for adults with intellectual disabilities. I do fundraising and volunteer coordination, and I'm also obviously in graduate school working on an MPA. And beyond that, I like to spend time with my family and friends, and also have to take time to take care of myself as well in there somewhere. So all of these different things can be very difficult to keep up with at times, working all day, sometimes on the weekend if there's a volunteer activity, um, and then, having to keep up some semblance of a good sleep schedule, social life, family life. So it's all, I'm very busy,
Hmm.
and sometimes there's trade-offs I have to make between the different things that I do, and it can be difficult at times to keep up with everything and stay on track with all of the things that I'm involved in. Um, but I do really enjoy work my job. It's my I love the our clients and what I do for them, and I enjoy being in school. I think it's important.
Yeah.
So it all just comes together at once sometimes though.
Hmm. Yeah. So it sounds like you've got a lot going on, but you know, you manage to balance everything for
I
the most
certainly
part.
try to.
Yeah. I know sometimes it can be hard. There was a time I was, you know, uh, working two jobs. I only work one now, working two jobs and in grad school and, had family life and all that. And I know how that can go. And sometimes it's just like, you got to do that triage, make that priority, but, you know, definitely got to take time out for yourself as well. You just got to let everything go and de-stress or you go crazy.
Absolutely. Um, but yes, it's also I live quite far away from Denton, so
Hmm.
sometimes that adds a little bit of difficulty to the situation as well. So I'm sometimes thankful that I get to be in an online course this semester. That helps a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
still I'm very involved in many different things.
I know how that is. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to class when I go on Mondays. So I live north of McKinney.
Wow.
So it's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, I
So
know. Same here.
affect
Diff-
things too.
um, so I think that, or I guess since you spoke first, what do you think I reached listening wise, hearing wise?
Um, I mean, I'm still kind of trying to figure out level three again, but level two definitely. I mean, that behavioral feedback. You kept eye contact. You nodded your head. You looked like you were listening to what I had to say. You kind of you know paraphrased back to me or kind of acknowledged what I was saying. At points when I was saying it. And then level three as well. That's I hate the word empathic. I always thought it was empathetic, and they're two different things, but they mean the same. But you didn't like try and tell me my feelings were wrong to feel the way I do. You understood because you kind of you said you've been through the same or similar things, maybe not the same, but workplace conflict. Everybody has it. We can all relate, even if it's not the same. Um, and I just kind of you were very you mean, you showed you were interested. You told me you were interested, and um, kind of asked how it was dealt with, and how we coped with it, how we tried to decrease the conflict. Um, so I think you hit the two big ones that are on the list. since we're not therapists and can't really do therapy.
Hmm.
Level 4.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I think that's a fair assessment. Having read a little bit of this beforehand, I definitely took a mind to try to paraphrase a little bit, and with the empathic, you're right. I feel that's empathetic as well. But I tried to not not evaluate your feelings really, but kind of just fire them back at you, I guess. I don't know.
mhm. Be a sounding board,
Yes. And then
which I think is actually something they say in here.
when you were listening to me speak, you certainly paraphrased a little bit. You talked about, I know I said the words, family life. I know you also use that exact phrase. I talked about taking care of myself. You also talked about that as well. So you certainly reached level two. Um, level three, you also, uh, used feeling words back to me, um, that were, pretty accurate of what I was describing. So I think that you probably reached level two, level three as well.
Oh, that's good. What else do we have? I mean, yeah, I will say, if nothing else, these aren't super hard, and a lot of it's like common sense and just talking to people normally and naturally, and not trying to one up them or tell them they're wrong or they don't know what they're talking about. I feel like that's been what a lot of this class is very much just being a decent person.
Well, certainly in some, I mean, in this particular case, we're reminded by not only what we've read, but also the assignment we're doing to, we're
Mhm.
instructed to be like, empathetic, and so we have it at the top of our mind. But I guess in some cases, when that's not at the forefront of what we're thinking, it can be more difficult to remember to stick to,
Yeah.
this kind of conversation.
I mean, especially if it's something you're super invested in, just think like politics or something like that. If you're super invested, you have to deal with more emotional or whatever. And, I guess this wasn't that. So that maybe that made it a little different.
Yeah, I think so. I think keeping a level head is a big part of this sort of being empathic.
I'm never going to be used to that word.
No. Well, all right.
Um,
I think